Hello, welcome back, or welcome to I'm More Tender. If you're a long-time subscriber or you're new to the channel, welcome. Today I'm going to make a video about the F15E. Now, I wanted to make a live commentary video. Again, I still have not gotten that to work because I'm stupid, so this is what it's going to be for now. I might make a different one in the future. But in this video, I just want to go over the F15E in a general statement, just what it does well, what makes the F15E the F15E, what does it do in game, what does it do well at, what does it do poorly, where can the F15E improve, and what the F15E means for the future of the game. So, without further ado, let's get into it. The F15E is a 4th-gen American aircraft, and the F-15E specifically came out in the 1980s as a twin-seat version of the F-15 that already existed at the body and the airframe made by McDonnell Douglas in the 70s. The F-15E, what sets it apart from other F-15s is it has much more powerful engines, it has a twin-seat cockpit, it has better hardpoints for more air-to-ground or air-to-air ordnance, and it also boasts a higher top speed and acceleration, as well as a little bit better wing loading than older F-15s of the time, as well as a better radar that can do more and see better, and it has a new cockpit that boasts up to 4 to 5 MFDs, depending on the generation of F-15E. But where does this mean for it in game? In game, the F-15E sits at the top of the strike aircraft texture for America. Well, let's strike for the bomber texture, but it devolves into strike aircraft. The F-15E is at the top at 14.0 battle rating and rank 8 the American texture. However, the F-15E exists in the Israeli texture as well, and other versions of the F-15E are not sure if there are any other ones actually on second thought, but I know the F-15C is in the Japanese texture as well under the name F-15JM, and it's in the Israeli texture under the name of Baz Meshbar. I'm sorry if I butchered that. The F-15E, though, specifically, is the most modern F-15E, well, F-15 we have in game currently. The F-15C is second place for that, but the F-15C, objectively speaking, is kind of a stopgap, as it doesn't have more power or as nimble of an airframe as an F-15A, but it also can carry some of the ordnance of an F-15E, making that in-between aircraft, and that, I would lump them all into one video, but each F-15 deserves a video of its own. Now, I can't talk about the F-15E without talking about what it does well, and its particular strength is its CAS and air-to-air. The F-15E is a great multi-role because it can carry a wide array of ordnance for both air-to-air and air-to-ground. For your air-to-ground, some of it includes the AGM-130A, the AGM-65, D and G variants, and an assortment of laser-guided bombs and GPS-guided bombs as well, some of which including the GBU-12, GBU-24, and GBU-10, and the GBU-38 and the GBU-31 respectively. The F-15E has an unmatched ability in air-to-ground, as it can carry the most amount of GBUs, the furthest and the highest, as well as the F-15E, despite, having so much weight able to be packed onto it, its performance really is not hampered by carrying a bunch of GBUs, because you will still go from your standstill to your Mach 1 a relatively short time respective to other aircraft. The F-15E just outputs so much power that it does not matter really what you bring on it, because it will still do good. Now, the F-15E for air-to-air is a completely different beast. It carries 8 AIM-120B AMRAAMs, which at the time of making this is the best long-range air-to-air missile in the game. The AIM-120B is an absolute beast in air-to-air, as it is more chaff-resistant than its A counterpart, and I believe that it goes active a little bit faster than the AIM-120A, giving it more range and more viability at top tier. And also, the ability to carry 8 AIM-120Bs is unmatched. Now, respective to the other aircraft its BR, such as the Rafale or Eurofighter, it does not seem that special compared to its peers, but when it comes to long range air to air jousting, the F 15E is simply unmatched in its field. When close in dogfights, the F 15E is subpar compared to its contemporaries, but can still very much hold its own compared to other aircraft. So, is the F 15E necessarily bad? I don't think so. At dogfighting, the F 15E is a very competent aircraft in its own right and will perform no matter what role you put it into. Talking about the F 15E's strengths would be worthless without talking about its weaknesses. A primary weakness of F 15E is the radar. The radar set, while very capable of doing several things at once, including air to ground and air to air, it doesn't do any of these particularly well, and the radar has a problem where it wants to lose track of targets and will scan in low fidelity, whereas aircraft like its contemporary F-16C, while boasting a newer radar, will lose track of targets a lot less than the F-15E, and I've noticed this problem particularly in BBR combat. The F-15E's radar is kind of a subpar compared to aircraft of its contemporaries, some of which boast IESA and PESA radars respectively. Areas where F-15E does poorly and can improve are a little bit few and far between. One thing I can, though, say with confidence is performance-wise the F-15E could do better. The F-15E in real life boasts a thrust to weight of a little bit over 1.1, and the F-15E, when completely stripped, can comfortably sit around Mach 2.2, as well as hold that speed, as well as being able to climb above 60,000 feet. Now, do I think this would be good for the game? Not really. But to say that the F-15E is not pretty much perfect where it's at right now in the game would be disingenuous, because the F-15E can do just about everything proficiently, and it can't do anything truly perfect other than its performance. So, do I think that the F-15E is necessarily bad in performance? No, but it could be better than it is now. The F-15 on launch was an absolute monster, being able to sit comfortably at Mach 2.2 to 2.3 and climb above the vertical limit of the map. Now, do I think that's necessarily fair to other aircraft at its BR? Not really. But do I think that the F-15E is kind of hindered as it's nerfed to not track, but drag? The traction nerf deserves its own video, and let me know in the comments if you want me to make a video talking about that, because it's going to be a lot more unhinged, and I'm going to genuinely crash out because I hate the traction nerfs. But to say that the F-15E does bad and really anything is kind of a lie. Other than its radar and its drag issue, the F-15E dominates the top tier matchmaker, and I can say that with absolute certainty. What does F-15E mean for the future of War Thunder, and where will it sit in the future? The F-15E has kind of propelled us into this new age of War Thunder, where it's more so now no longer about the dogfighting performance of an aircraft, but how well it canceling missiles. The F-15E has kind of propelled us into that age of 4th gen and 4.5 gen aircraft that we've desired for a long time before Fox 3 missiles existed. The F-15E now holds the pinnacle of what it means to be a BBR aircraft in game, as its strong suit lies in its ability to do BBR and not its ability to do dogfighting. And the F-15E is kind of the top of its field right now when it comes to BBR combat. Now, for the future of this game, the F-22, F-35, F-15EX, F-16V, later versions of, the Gripen E, aircraft like that will eventually come into the game, and they will follow in the footsteps of what the F-15E has already paved in BBR combat, as they will only build upon what it has already done. So, I believe that this aircraft is a big step forward in terms of the game and where it will sit in the very near future. Now, as of right now, I think the game is in a state where it can only go downhill, as You never see people using, things such as AIM-9M ever now. Is close in combat is effectively dead anywhere above 12.0, and it's kind of sad to say, as it was a lot of fun when it lasted, and now that we have a time where there's only BVR, I don't really know how to feel about the game. But if you've watched this far, I want to say thank you, and if you like the video, like, comment. If you didn't like the video, dislike, tell me why in the comments, or if you just want to dislike, it's up to you. And see you guys later. Peace.